Would you like to become a fascinating personality, break free from plateaus, and gain power over your mental resources and your full potential? You came to the right place. Welcome to a magical journey to yourself. This show is made in Germany. If you like the show, please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or puremindmagic.club. Welcome to Season 1, Shaping Your Reality. And here is your host, international magician, speaker, and book author, Victoria Mavis.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new episode of the Pure Mind Magic podcast. I'm happy that you are joining me with this episode. And this episode is brought to you by Bradley Charbonneau. He is an author of non-fiction books and fiction books, and his brand new book is called Audio for Authors. Audiobooks, podcasts, and dictation for fun and profit. He's helping you to turn your written book into a profitable audiobook. So make sure to check his book out on Amazon, Audio for Authors, as well as his website. I will put everything in the show notes. Speaking of authors, today's interview is with a best-selling author. He is originally from Germany and moved to Barcelona now. And the interview today is dedicated to a very special person of my own life that enriches my life in so many levels. So thanks for that, KR, and this interview is for you. Today on the show will be Marc Recklau. He is a 2-time best-selling author of the book 30 Days, all about to change your habits and become really successful. And my personal favorite, his book From Jobless to Amazon Bestseller. It is really incredible what he did. And he is also a very nice and highly inspirational guy. We had a great time doing this interview, especially for you, all in English, while we are both native German speakers. Marc Recklau does now speaking events all around the world and helping people to make their dream come true and to start writing a book and self-publish it. So here's for you, best-selling author Marc Recklau. Hi, Marc, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Victoria. Nice to be here.
Great to talk to you. So it's always funny to talk with someone who's also speaking the native language German in English, what we are doing today.
Yep, it's kind of strange, but it's also kind of fun.
So I'm in Munich and I know you are close to Barcelona, and I heard that you are in a very special place at the moment. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I am 20 kilometers north of Barcelona and I'm on my boat. I had a childhood dream. I always wanted to live on a boat. And then this year I had the opportunity. I got a good place in a port. I got a good boat. I said, okay, now I will do it. I'm going to live on a boat. So right now my really living place is a boat, houseboat.
That is nice. That is really magical. You are like living a dream. So, Marc, how did you make that happen? You set a clear intention? Did you visualize it? Or how did it came true in the end?
Yeah, this is a very funny story because 10 years ago, 5 years ago, in 2013, when I did my coaching training, I mean, we know about the power of goal setting, about the power of, as you said, intentions, the power of writing down. And I wrote down my goals, which is a very good exercise to start with, from where do I want to be in 10 years? What do I have to have done in 5 years to reach my 10 years goal? What do I have to have done in 1 year to reach my 5 years goal. So, and the fun thing was on my 10 years goal, it was really written, I wanted to be an author. I wanted to have one book. I wanted to be quite, let's say, known coach. And I wanted a car, a house, and a boat. And then with time, because sometimes also our goals adapt. So then once I heard the phrase that there are the two happiest days in the life of a boat owner is the day when he buys the boat and the day when he sells the boat. Because boats, normally they give you a lot of headaches. There's always something broken. So then I said, okay, maybe not the boat. But then last year again, it's exactly what you said. I was focusing on this dream. And when you focus on something, when you concentrate on something, suddenly you see it everywhere. So I was seeing a lot of opportunities of living on a boat, buying a boat. And then I did it. And then I found again my list with my goals from 5 years ago. And there it was again the boat. So I said, wow, one more goal reached out of these many goals.
Yes, that is really a satisfying feeling when you see that you really made it happen, I think. And as you mentioned with the selective perception, then you suddenly see all these things and chances. And before we go into your life as best-selling author, can you tell us something about your personal story, how your life unfolded so far?
Of course. Where shall I start? Well, okay, let's say my life was quite normal until 4 years ago. So I studied in Germany at the college in Pforzheim. Then I found a job, which I didn't like so much, but I did it for 10 years. And then things were going bad at my job and they had to fire me. Let's say fire me. I had to go. I was the responsible of the German market and there was not much happening anymore. So I had to go. That was okay. And as I had the coaching training, I said, okay, I have now 2 years because in Spain you get jobless money for 2 years. I had savings because I was saving like 10% of my salary since 5 years before. So I was okay. I could maintain my lifestyle for 2 years. And then I had this power of belief that if you do something for 2 years, if you work towards a goal for 2 years, you should be quite able to reach it. So I knew I have 2 years. And then I started studying more. I started also studying about online marketing, about self-publishing. And I had the idea to write a book. So half a year into my jobless break, I started writing a book, 30 days it's called. And I published it with Amazon, self-published it, and then a long time nothing happened. And I thought, well, here's the book. It doesn't sell. But I started studying how to sell books. And then I got into a promotion in Amazon. That was March 2015. I was already jobless for 1.5 years. And then suddenly I had 38,000 downloads in one day on Amazon. They were free, but they later turned into paid, sold books. So in this day changed my whole life.
Wow, that's really magical.
Yeah. That was very magical. I would really say one of the most magical moments of my life because I don't have kids. So I always think, wow, this was really probably the best day of my life when I saw on the Amazon, you have like a dashboard where you can see your downloads. And I just saw this line. It was a green line going up very steep. And I saw the numbers. And then I read in books what will happen afterwards, that you will sell a lot of books, that you will become a bestseller. But of course, when it happens to you, you are like, let's see if it really starts happening. And then it started happening. And I just starting selling books, 100, 200 books every day. And this changed everything. This changed literally my life.
Yes, I can imagine. So you made that happen. But I think there was also some preparation involved. So what was your mindset around that, or what was your goal?
Yeah, it's the good thing that you're asking that, because this is one thing. I think the most important thing, tomorrow I'm giving a conference here in Barcelona about abundance, about prosperity. And the number one point really is belief. Believe in yourself. believe in your product. Because I have to say, in the beginning, when I said, okay, I'm going to write a book now, and then I'm going to try to put it on Amazon, and there are people who sell a lot of books on Amazon, and I want to be one of them. Of course, everybody thought, oh no, oh my God, now he has gone completely crazy. Why doesn't he look for a job? So you have to be very strong there, because people doubt you, but it doesn't matter. You have to believe in yourself. So that's the mindset. You have to believe in yourself. And then the second part of the question, of course, I didn't say, so now I'm going to write a bestseller. So I was really actually always concentrating on the next step that I have to do. So when the book was uploaded on Amazon and it didn't sell, what can I do to sell more? Then I studied that. And then when various techniques of selling more didn't work, this continuous research, what can I do? And I can tell you, in January 2015, I sold 8 books in a whole month. So that was really like the least. And that was literally a point when I said, okay, now I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna do something else. But out of the books I read in my life, I also many authors say when you're most close to quitting, just hang in a little bit more. And then amazing things can happen. And this is actually what happened to me. I said, okay, well, give it one more try. And then that try worked out.
Well, I like that. That's really a kind of a fairy tale, little bit, but it's really a huge thing. So, and I'm going to ask you more about the book and the process to create it. But before we dive into that, I wanted to ask you about your morning rituals that transformed your life.
Great point. No, because this is something, I studied this, and most of the successful people do it. And it's everywhere. You can find it everywhere. There's a book written about it, The Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod. Great book, which he also did at research successful people, but it's very fun because some successful people didn't do it. Then they read his book and they got even more successful. So I said, okay, there's something to it. I have to do this too. And as I had a lot of time when I was jobless or as a freelancer, I really started doing it. And that meant getting up at 5:30, 6 in the morning. And then usually I take a little walk, 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20. Then I do a little meditation, which can be 5 minutes. And meditation sounds very mystical. It can really be only sitting down and just concentrate on your breath and And then I usually do gratitude for 5 minutes. So I write down 3 to 5 things I'm grateful for and really feel the gratitude. This is very important. This gratitude exercise is probably one of the most powerful exercises. And if you ask me, what did I do different between selling 8 books in January and selling thousands from April on, it was really the more gratitude. So what you do is you write down 3 things you are grateful for and you really, really feel this gratitude. And then you can also another thing of the morning ritual would be planning your day. So if you can do all this is great. But even if you can do only one thing in the morning that I would do as a morning ritual, gratitude. It's even scientifically proven that if you do this gratitude exercise for 4 to 6 weeks, you are changing literally your brain. You're changing your brain to look for the positive in your surroundings, because our brains are usually programmed to look for the danger, for problems, because they have been programmed like this for thousands and thousands of years, because 20,000 years ago, if you didn't have a problem, you were dead. You couldn't lower your guard, but times have changed. So if we can manage to reprogram our brain with gratitude, it has amazing benefits. So you see more opportunities, you get more optimistic, you get less headaches, you sleep better, less anxiety, less depression. Gratitude is the antidote to literally like these bad emotions of envy, anger, Also, yeah, sadness. So when I get sad every now and then. Also, I'm not happy all the time, but when I get sad, when I notice it, then I notice also for myself. So it's time to do some gratitude, and then I just look at my day, at the last week. What can I be grateful for? And that's usually brings you back on a positive state of mind, which is really very important, because you know how important is attitude, mindset, as you already said.
Yes, definitely. So, and I like your approach on that with this morning ritual, how you do it, and the writing down. I think, as you said, with the gratitude, it sounds a little bit like a magic pill, because it can do so much, and even on a neuroscience level, as you said, with the brain. And I saw on your website, and you said you become sad sometimes. I think this is just a normal human thing with dealing with the negative emotions that are coming up. And on your website, you said when people work together with you, it's like you help them to get unstuck. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's like most of the time, I mean, same that I was stuck in my work, and I even actually also had a coach a year before I was fired who was already preparing me, who was getting me unstuck, because sometimes when you are alone, you just don't see it, that maybe a change of jobs or a change of relationships or a change of habits is the best thing you can do. And then also when your friends or your family, when they tell you that we are always a little bit more sensible with our friends and family because they are just so close to us. And then with a coach has to be like a mirror, and it's like really, you look at the situation, you come to the coach, and that's how I help people. They tell me their situation, and then we analyze and we figure out, first of all, what do they want in their life? Because many people are stuck because they don't know what they want in life. And the problem is that it's very difficult to notice that by yourself. So I was stuck for a long time and I didn't even notice it. It was the famous comfort zone. So once, when you notice that you are stuck, then you can either read books and do the exercises of the books and get unstuck, or you work together with a coach. And then, as I said before, we analyze, we check the goals. Where do you want to go? In what time? How would your ideal life look like? And then we work from week to week on your abilities, on your skills, how to get out of the rut. Also, you're setting like small goals, because the fun thing, the magic thing is, sometimes we think we need to do huge stuff to change our life, to move on, have to set big goals. And actually, it's not like that. If you do something from today on, a small change in your life in 1 year will look completely different. It's the same when you are like on a boat and you're going, and the compass needle, you change the course 2 degrees. It's nothing. But at the end, if it's a very long voyage, you end up in a totally different place. And that's also, so when every day you do little things, chewable things, digestible things that don't overwhelm you, and you give yourself the time, a year to year, because look at it. I'm talking here, but my process took 4 years. And the first 1.5 years, it looked like nothing would happen. So it's like if you're a farmer and you plant and nothing is happening, but you still go and give the plant water. And then after a while, the plant comes with goals, with your habits, with coaching. It's a bit like the same.
Yes, that is a good picture, I think, what you said there. And a coach can really help, I think, to give you a new perspective that you yourself can't see. And I also found on your website something you call mindfulness exercise. What is that?
This is an amazing exercise that my NLP coach, neuro-linguistic programming coach, she told me, because she convinced me that mindfulness is being in the present. Yeah. It's like being totally in the moment. And when you are totally in the moment and concentrating on the moment, it's very difficult to be sad, worried, angry, because right in the moment, it's these feelings are not there. So this exercise is really that you just say, so you sit down somewhere. It's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you just concentrate and say, I see, for example, me, I see now a yellow curtain. I see some glasses. I see some cups. I see my mobile phone. And when you do this, so you do this 5, then you do 5 times something you hear. I hear a slight wind. I hear a slight noise in my headphones. I hear the squeaking of the boats around me. And then what you feel, I feel my feet on the floor. I feel my trousers on my skin. I feel a slight wind going over my arms. So when you do this, so you do this 5, and then you do it 4 times. 4 times you feel, 4 times you see, 4 times you hear, 3 times, 2 times, once. And in all this time, if you always concentrate on what you see, what you hear, you don't have capacity in your brain to concentrate on worries. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this exercise is incredible. So my NLP coach, she really cured even bipolar people with this exercise, not doing it once. It's like doing it every day for a half a year, because it's one of these exercises that, as you said, from neuroscience, they change the brain chemistry. So what it does for me, it's just that I get in total relaxation. I've talked to people who are very anxious, who when they were doing this exercise, they got less anxiety. And the important thing is you can do this 3, 4, 5 times a day, and then also every day. And then, as I said before, after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, that's when you will see the big changes.
That sounds really good. So it reminds me about my time on stage, because when I'm performing magic, it requires me being absolutely present in the moment and knowing exactly what I'm doing to controlling the whole attention of the audience. And I feel very empowered in that moment. And I think it's the same when you do this mindfulness exercise and really being 100% in the moment at what you are doing, as well as when you are talking to other people, because I think they can feel when you are really present and not just sitting there and your mind is somewhere else.
I totally agree. If you would see me now, I was nodding with my head the whole time when you were talking, because it's really like this. Yeah, in the mindfulness, all our power is in the present moment. Yeah, and the solutions are in the present moment, and it's a worry-free moment, because worries happen when we are not in the moment, when we think about what we did yesterday, or when we worry about the future. And in the moment, there are no worries. It's a worry-free zone. It's actually the happiness zone. So happiness is also always found in the moment. And when I'm coming back to this gratitude exercise, it's the same. It's also a mindfulness, because you are in the moment, living, breathing, and feeling this gratitude. And this has only really positive benefits.
Yes, that is so true. So, Marc, you are a best-selling author, and I really love to talk to authors. And just this week, I came across that author equals authority. So I really like that. And it said that when you write a book, it must be that you know something about what you are writing in this case, I mean. And you mentioned your book, 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. So this book is about changing your habits. But I found a book that seems to be almost more interesting, like when we look at making your dreams come true, and it's called From Jobless to Amazon Bestseller. Can you tell us about this book?
Yeah, of course, happy to tell you about it. So the thing is, and this is, once you write a book, it's getting like an addiction, because then you have to overcome all the limiting beliefs. Who am I to write a book? It takes a long time to write a book, all this, which is not really true. Those are limiting beliefs. and you can write a book, why not? Look, it was the same for me. These doubts were like, who are you to write a book? And I was like, who am I not to write a book? So when I finished 30 days, and it will happen to you when you write a book, you already think about the next book. And I was thinking, oh, what is the next book? And then I had all my notes, all my study notes from everything. What did I do? How did I write 30 days? What did I do in the marketing to promote it? How do I publish on Amazon? How do you do a launch? I said, and I had all this. So I said, oh, why not make this my second book? So from Jobless to Amazon Bestseller is kind of a guide of how to write, publish, promote your book to Amazon Bestseller status, but also to have your book, because it's exactly what you said. It's unbelievable what good things a book can do for you. It's exactly what you said. Authority, nearly celebrity status, maybe in your area, in your local. You get a lot of credibility. For example, I raised my coaching fees. I do conferences now at prices that I couldn't even imagine 3 or 4 years ago. This is also work, but bit by bit you can like work your price up. And also, for example, when I want to do company training, I sent them my book and said, look, this is my book. If you think this is interesting for your employees, I can come and make a company training. So I was in Switzerland at UEFA already. I did 2 trainings. Those are the football people who do the Champions League and all that. And I do consult companies here. So that's also something with a book, where the book helps you a lot, because when I was jobless, I didn't have a network. I had not a lot of contacts. Yeah, I was really in a place where I said, woof, if I wouldn't have written 30 days in this book, wouldn't have had such a success, I wouldn't know what would have happened with me, because I have to say it was like just a jobless guy with close to nothing. Thanks to the book, now I have an email list of 10,000 people. I'm slightly, let's say, a little celebrity in Barcelona. People know me, people call me, invite me. So it's amazing what a book can do for you.
So to wrap it up, Marc, you could say that writing your own book is kind of opening a magic door.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It can't be said better. Yeah. Writing your own book is like opening up a magic door or a magic box, and things come out you can't even imagine, good things. And I tell people, I mean, my girlfriend, Natalia, she has now also written her second book, because I told her all the time, write a book. You have so much knowledge, because everybody has a story to tell. And for example, my book was 30 days, was like a recap of the books I read in the last 25 years and more. I was a person who read the books and then didn't do the exercises. And that's how my life was. I still had bad relationships. I was in a bad job. I had no control. I didn't feel fully responsible for my life. I blamed other people for my life. And then when I was jobless, I started taking responsibility and I started doing the exercises. And when I started doing the exercises and saw the results, and then writing 30 days, I was writing exactly from this mindset. I wanted to convince people, do the exercises. You don't have to do the 94 exercises of the book. Take 2 or 3 and do them for 30 days, for 60 days, for 90 days. Do them until you see positive change happening. And it's really incredible what happens once you do the exercises, and what happens once you don't stop when things are well. Because that was also something I did. The few times I did the exercises was when I was really not in a good place. And then when I recovered, I stopped doing the exercises. And then it was like up and down. But when I said, okay, let's do the exercises, and when I'm in a very good place, I will keep on doing the exercises. This is when really amazing stuff happens, when you have the momentum, and everything. As we said before, the up and downs, they are part of it. Still, you can have negative emotions and everything, but you get to a place where you're much more resilient, where you recover faster from low blows, because those are going to happen. They belong to life. They make life. They are the spice of life. But you recover faster, and you live life maybe on a higher happiness level. The normal level of happiness is a bit higher than before.
That sounds really good. So, Marc, what do you need to become a best-selling author? So what are the standards, the number to call yourself a bestseller author on Amazon?
First of all, you need a very good book, a quality book, because because you are directly in contact with your readers. They will tell you what they don't like. They will tell you what you like. Second, to call yourself an Amazon bestseller is quite easy, because when you know what to do, when you know the magic tricks to do, you can become an Amazon bestseller with quite less than 1,000 sales. Far less than 1,000 sales. But you have to know what to do. But that is only the marketing. Then you can call yourself Amazon bestseller. That's great. I didn't call myself a bestseller, I think, until I sold 8,000 books. That was for me something. It seems that nowadays, if you sell 8,000 or 10,000 books, this is already quite something per year. And also, my publisher called me a best-selling author. That was then I said, okay, now that's it. So how can you get a best-selling author? Well, selling hundreds of books on Amazon, but hundreds of books and then not selling anymore is also not, then you have the title, but there's no substance. As a writer, of course, you want to keep on selling books. Second is when your publisher calls you a bestseller. Or third is there are many people who call themselves bestseller, and that's it. So I started with 8,000, but I have to say now I have over 60,000 books sold and over 120,000 readers, which got my book for free. So now I feel more comfortable to call myself a best-selling author. I have the book now translated in Chinese, Japanese, Russian. So that feels a bit more like it.
Wow. So you overcame your beliefs once more, that you allow yourself now to call yourself a best-selling author, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because it's all about the beliefs. It's all about the limiting belief. It's all about we first have to believe it. And then also of your personal value system. I know people who have sold 400 books and call themselves Amazon best-selling authors. It's totally okay for them. Not judging, but I wouldn't have the balls to do it. Yeah. But, it's the marketing world also. Also some detergents, washing powders don't wash whiter than others, and they say it. So it's also about your personal value. What will happen is that if you have a book, what you said in the beginning, you will get more authority. People can read your book. If it's a good book, they can see that you are an expert in your subject, because you can get people to write a book for you, for example. Ghostwriters, but that's also something that I said, no, I want to write it myself, because I need to put my heart and my soul in it. It has to be really like a love product, yeah, so that it can be successful. That was a belief, but yeah, in this case for me, this was important.
Yeah, so it really comes down to beliefs, and everyone is unique. So. Exactly. Marc, you are kind of focused on the non-fiction books. And what would you recommend if someone really has the dream to start a book, to write a book? What would be the first step to get the process rolling?
I think the first step to get the process rolling would be to read, for example, my book, From Jobless to Amazon Bestseller, because I really also focused this book on readers. This book is written from the mindset everybody can write a book. Who are you to write a book? Who are you not to write a book? You can do it. And then I give the tips, how to overcome the obstacles, the limiting beliefs, how to write, because many people also have the wrong approach. They sit down in front of a white paper and think, so now when I'm inspired, words will start to flow. And that is really not like the pros do it. So the real writers with many books, they really sit down every day for half an hour, for an hour, for 2 hours. And they write also when they are not inspired. And it's more about the habits. There we come back to the habits. So if you want to write a book, you don't write a book. You write 200 words a day during half a year. And then you have a book. So in all kind of these tricks, I share everything in my book from Jobless to Amazon Bestseller, so that they can adopt their mindset and see it's possible. Then I'm also now working on an online course, also like is Write Your Bestseller, which is, of course, it's also the basis is the book. And then it's like a video course with some more tricks and also with more things that I learned in the last 2 years, because the world in Amazon is moving very fast. Amazon adapts their algorithm, their programs very quickly. So you have to be constant. You are constantly learning. I also put everything of that in the course. Also, ads that work, ads that don't work. I spend a lot of money on ads that didn't work. So the people who buy my course don't have to do the same mistakes. They can learn from my mistakes.
That is always good. So when do you think is your course available, and what exactly is it? Like videos?
Exactly. So the course, I think it should be done, let's say in 4 weeks at the end of July. And it's like a video presentation with small chapters. Let me see. I can maybe show you, tell you already here. So, for example, there's 2 intro videos who work more about the mindset. Then there's also a module what to have in an account before writing. Also how to outline a book, the chapters, the title, how do you find a good title, the cover, how to design a good cover or get it designed, and all this stuff, what do you have to do, pricing your book, what have you do before uploading, and also put videos in how you really actually step by step upload your book on Amazon, or how you can find an editor and proofreader. So yeah, I think it's quite complete and it's quite compact also. I think it will be around 3 hours. So that it will really in 3 hours you have everything you need to go from zero to author, and with a little bit of magic, even to best-selling author.
Oh, I like that. That is really a good approach. And I think you can inspire a lot of people with that. So I want you to ask about a book recommendation you can give maybe. So you mentioned the Miracle Morning before. Anything that really helped you maybe in the time you yourself felt kind of stuck before everything changed in your life from one day to another?
Woo, yep, that's now a little bit more difficult, because those books I have all in the suitcases, not in the suitcases, in the cupboard. What I always now recommend lately is a book, The Happiness Advantage from Sean Aker, which is a book that has all really the scientific, all the neuroscience, scientific proof that really our thoughts create our reality. Or our beliefs create our reality, how this, what you had said before, how our brain works, the selective perception and all this. So what was maybe 25 years ago in the esoteric department, also with the seeker and everything, many of those things are now scientifically proven, which is absolutely mind-boggling, I would say. And Sean Aker is a pioneer on that. So his book, The Happiness Advantage, was really one of the best books I've written I've read in the last 20 years. So that's a recommendation. Now I see another one to the, this one I didn't have when I wasn't doing so well, but this is just amazing. It's about gratitude. It's called Gratitude Works, from Robert A. Emmons. And Robert A. Emmons studied the benefits of gratitude in people. And this is also mind-boggling stuff about really that sometimes when people come to me who don't have the money to afford a coach and are at a really bad place, most of the times the first thing I offer them, I said, do gratitude. Do gratitude for 4 weeks. How I explained it, feeling it. Buy this book of Mr. Emmons. And then really huge changes can happen. Only through gratitude. That's the amazing thing.
Wow, that sounds really good, Marc. So, because I think you inspired so many of the listeners, what would be the best way to connect with you personally, to get you as a coach, to buy your books, or just to find out more about your personality?
Well, I'm happy always to get emails to Marc with a C at marcrecklau.com. My books are on Amazon, so it's really, there's only one Marc Recklau. That's the fun thing. So only one Marc Recklau with a C. So if you put my name in Google, I come up everywhere. If you put marcrecklau.com, you get on my webpage. If you put Marc Recklau or 30 days in Amazon, I think I also come up first. So if you want to find me, you find me everywhere.
That is good. So you really made it, we could say.
Yeah, and I'm lucky that there's only one with my name. If I would be Thomas Müller or Heinz Meyer, it wouldn't be so easy.
Yeah.
But there's only one Marc Recklau.
Right. So, Marc, any last words, maybe a great quote you found along the way you would like to share for the end of the interview?
First thing that came to mind now, because I have many, many favorite quotes, but the one that helped me most when I was just before giving up and looking for a job, or because this happens all the time, even now, even now I sometimes have moments when I think, wow, why not just do something else? There's one great phrase from Thomas Edison, the inventor, the American inventor, who says, the best way to succeed is always to try one more time. This usually gets me out of my slumps. I always think when something doesn't work, I always think of Edison to say, okay, one more time. And then if you always try one more time, at the end you will succeed.
Yes, this one more time then can be the magic key that opens the door.
That's it. Yeah, it's like Paulo Coelho says it. Most of the time, it's the last key on the keychain that opens the door. Yeah.
Yeah, nice picture. So fantastic, Marc. That was a great pleasure having you today on the show with so much knowledge and inspiration and all about how to become a best-selling author. So I would love to bring you back on the show one day.
I'm happy whenever you want.
Very good.
Yep. Looking forward to it already.
Thanks. So, Marc, then have a magical day on your boat in Barcelona, and until soon.
Until soon.
Bye.
Victoria, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had some great insights today with Marc Recklau. Check out the show notes. I will put in all the links to his website as well as to his books. Marc really motivated me to start a new book project in self-publishing because I got my book already published with a big publisher in Germany. But now I'm on my way to publish my first podcasting book under my real name. That would be JSR, and it is called How Podcasting Can Change Your Life. You will also find a link to that. It will be out in September. So check out. Maybe this is something for you that inspires you to start your own podcast or start your podcast and write your book with the inspiration of Marc today. You remember I mentioned in the beginning the amazing Bradley Charbonneau with his new book, Audio for Authors. And I decided to bring him in as a guest so you can learn more about him. And this will be the interview next Friday, all about audiobooks and continuing the writing process and what else you can do when you already have written your book. So tune in again next Friday for this interview. Until next time, create some magic.